AI isn't taking your creator job from you yet, but I'm here to convince you that maybe, just maybe, you can use it to make some real good, non-spammy animation or content that can actually change your channel. Now, the point I want to start with is the biggest extent of AI we've really seen so far has definitely shown some insane potential. But the biggest thing I've noticed is the same: consistency. While each and every day tons of creators have been happy to push out that there's this new app that can help you do this and that, which I don't blame them for. Some of them are getting their bread, which can't knock them for doing that. There's not really been a lot of consistency shown by those who actually use these. I'm telling you, if I could count how many videos I get of a whole new app that I can use to make the same kind of horrendous animation, I would be a millionaire. And yeah, sure, you can build a really cool movie or a rap video or 50 different variations of this dog with apples. But I always felt like when I see these, I don't think much besides, oh cool, AI made that. That's cool. Or if you're an AI enthusiast like me, you see stuff and something about how did someone make this and just how creative it is, and it's fascinating. But then I kind of just keep on moving. It's not like when you open a YouTube video made by an animator who actually cares and puts some sense of emotion, development, and storyline behind these images that you actually leave it saying, oh yeah, that was amazing, I want more of this, I'm going to subscribe to the channel and keep watching. Not more of this. Or even the talking head animations, which are constantly being pumped to us. Easy ways to make content, stuff like that, but I start to wonder how much is going to dilute your own creative ability. How much are you going to sacrifice creativity in the name of efficiency? I always find that with AI, there's a way to find a balance between both and not completely lose yourself. On the other hand, I have noticed that even though this has been happening, it hasn't changed the fact that people still crave that original, creative, well thought out, well designed content. Even if maybe you have a hint of AI in it, I think people still crave good quality animation, good quality content that is well thought out and well created. For example, when the AI first came out, everyone kind of flooded towards making these really crappy kids animations, because they're kids. Who fucking cares? They're stupid. They just see a cartoon, they love it. But if you really think about it, is your kid really going to sit down, look at this and be like, this is absolutely great? Maybe they will. It seems to have worked for a lot of channels too, but as you make more, I feel like it's going to get diluted. Not only that, but I feel like at some point kids will also start to think, is this really enjoyable? Am I enjoying this? Or why don't I just turn on SpongeBob or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on TV and watch that? But of course, if you're 2-3 years old, what do they know about a good cartoon, right? As long as the cartoon is jumping around, singing some songs, it doesn't matter. If you really want to compare one of those channels and then you compare another kid's channels like Gracie's Corner, where there is so much creativity, so much music, the characters are really well thought out, there's consistency in their design as well. There's a reason why they have so many subscribers and kids love them, because there's real thought behind the stuff they're making. It's not some AI produced Suno music that they made and threw on some random images they put together from Midjourney. This is real stuff that a team of people came together and thought about and said, what are our black kids going to be singing as well? What music are they what music are they listening to, and how can we change that, with some really, really great animation too. And it literally has adults singing to it as well, so you can't knock that. I watched this one clip from 100x engineers about this comic book AI tool, which produced some cool stuff at first glance, but when you really look close, it lacked consistency. The art style was wonky, and it's just not something anyone would go out of their way to read. And with it not generating the same characters each time, it makes you wonder, what are we so afraid of as artists? And I understand everyone has been very upset about its intrusion in the art space, and it's completely valid. It's affected writers, designers, animators, the whole deal. Making logos, backgrounds, anime, comics, turnaround sheets, 3D models, even freaking B-roll, it's cheaper and faster now. I'm not necessarily saying it's better, but it is cheaper and faster to make it now. And you can literally make up anything that comes out from your head. But once again, I return back to my original point. This is a tool. If you have your skills and you're already like an expert animator at that, great, good for you. You got the skills, you know what to do, you already have maybe already a following. I don't think that's going to change anything, but I find you have a space there where you can actually use this tool to help you speed up your process, whether it's brainstorming character designs, whether it's creating those turnaround model sheets, you know, maybe it's designing your backgrounds, right? It really cuts down the amount of time you're going to spend doing a lot of these things, so you can continue to produce high quality content. And I think especially now as AI has come out, I think it's been really great for people who are not good at animation and who also maybe don't have the time to sit down and learn how to draw and do all these things. I think it's created a space for people like that to go in and actually create something for themselves as well. You know, maybe they don't have the time to sit down and learn how to work with Maya or Blender. I mean, of course, I definitely think you should learn Blender if you want to do some animation. I'm telling myself that because I also need to learn Blender, but you know, maybe they don't have the time to do that, but they also still want to create something. I don't think they should be knocked for trying to do something like that. For example, for me, in my case, I've had some animation experience. I've tried animating for quite a while. I've tried so many different things. I even tried Joel Haver's method of the rotoscoping using EB Synth, and you know, I gave that a go for a while. I tried it, but it was extremely tedious, you know, changing all the different body types, making sure the EB Synth doesn't mess up your drawings and it comes up properly, and redoing it all over again. It's just not something I could keep up with every single time, and you know, it got really exhausting, and I couldn't even continue using it because it just definitely took up so much time, and the risk and reward between it just was not enjoyable. You know, it worked out for Joel Haver, it worked out for I think Goat on a Stick as well, and it's a really great art style, but you know, it worked for some people. I don't know if he still does it manual by himself. He probably has a team doing it now, but you know, it didn't work out for me, and I found that by using AI I was actually able to come up with my own art style in itself, you know. And maybe it's not a very visually appealing art style for some, you know, but it's kind of close to what I've been wanting to do without having to go through the hassle of learning After Effects. But I know that now if I learned After Effects and using this AI tool to create this kind of art style, I could actually make really great animations as well. I wouldn't have to go through the portion of trying to get my animation to start moving through OpenAI Art and using up credits. I could just get it all done After Effects manually. If you can really learn how to harness these tools and even customize them, you know, as it to find the art style that you really want, and maybe even combine them, you get really unique things out of it, things that usually maybe the hand wouldn't even be able to do, or the human brain wouldn't be able to think about, right? But the human brain can put these things together, and I think that's the amazing part about AI and how it's really entered the art space right now. But here's the thing, AI isn't here to replace the magic of human creativity. It's here to enhance it. Think of AI as a supercharged tool that can help you bring your wildest ideas to life faster than ever before. Just like how Photoshop didn't eliminate the need for artists, AI is not going to take away the essence of animation or of content creation. Instead, it can be your creative partner. Another example actually is The Lion King in 2019. You know, the filmmakers used AI techniques to create that hyper-realistic animal movements and environments to give you that, you know, immersive experience. Like, I guess it wasn't quite as close to the cartoon, of course, you know, because 3D doesn't quite bring those facial gestures and movements out, but like they had to use AI to come up with some of those things to put them together and make it a lot faster too. I also think that AI can democratize animation, you know, because it's lowering the barriers to entry. With AI tools, you know, even people who are aspiring animators like me can experiment with techniques and styles that were once reserved for like big studios, or people with way more time on their hands who can quit their jobs and start learning animation, or have gone to animation school. I didn't go to animation school, but you know, I want to create things too. And this means more voices, more stories, and more diversity in the animation space. You know, so these tools just allow us to focus on more storytelling and leave some of that heavy lifting to the AI. So, you know, I want to think you to think of this in this way. Instead of fearing AI, why don't you embrace it as a new brush in your digital toolbox? It's not about replacing animators, you know, but empowering them to push the boundaries of what's actually possible. Imagine a world where AI handles those tedious tasks that you don't want to do, like making those turnaround sheets or crafting your backgrounds, so you can focus on really making your characters do the things you want them to do. And you know what, for backgrounds, I got this sorted out. I got AI to make this thing, and I can switch it up in After Effects or in Photoshop, whatever it is, and gives you more time to focus, on the heart and soul of your animation. In conclusion, what I really think is that AI animation is evolving, and while it's not reached perfection yet, I think its potential is undeniable. So whether you're a professional animator or just someone curious about the field, there's a place for AI in your creative journey. So let's use it wisely and see where this new frontier takes us. And you know what? I think it's a good thing. I think we're in a really good place with where this is going. And I think it's going to open a lot of doors for new people. It's going to open a lot of bad doors too, not only good ones. But I see that there's going to be such a big positive change in the art space as well. So whoever's still watching this video up until the end, I invite you to subscribe, keep following. I'm gonna keep using animation to build something consistent. That's my main goal for working with AI, and I think it should be the main goal of a lot of people. A lot of people shoot for the stars immediately. I'm not trying to shoot for the stars. I want to start simple and create something consistent, something that I know I can work with long term. So not too many one-off animations, but I want to create something consistent, and that's my goal, to build consistency using AI animation. So follow along, and thanks for watching.